Disconnect the dryer from the wall outlet and keep it disconnected. Let's start with the two thermal fuses. Remove the door and the front panel to gain access to the thermal fuses. Now you could get access to the two thermal fuses, the one on the heater box and the one on the blower box. According to the wiring schematic, both thermal fuses have to be good in order for the electricity to flow to the motor. To check the thermal fuse on the blower box, disconnect one of the wires. Take a reading with your own meter between the two terminals on the thermal fuse. The reading should be 0 ohms. If the reading is infinity, the thermal fuse is bad and you will need to replace it. When you replace a bad thermal fuse, you will need to replace the cycling thermostat too. To replace the thermal fuse, disconnect the wires, remove the screw, remove the thermal fuse and install the new one. To test the thermal fuse on top of the heater, remove the screw, remove the thermal fuse assembly, leave the wires attached to it. By bringing the thermal fuse forward, it's easy to work on it. Remove one of the wires and take a reading with your own meter between the two terminals on the thermal fuse. The reading should be 0 ohms. If the reading is infinity, the thermal fuse is bad and you will need to replace it. When you replace a bad thermal fuse on top of the heater, you should also replace the high limit thermostat. You should also check the airflow on the dryer. Check the blower and the exhaust hose too. To replace a bad thermal fuse, remove the screws and the wires, remove the bad thermal fuse and install a new one. Set the thermal fuse assembly on the heater box and screw in the holding screw. That was the way to check and replace the two thermal fuses in this dryer. For the best place to buy replacement parts online, visit Repair Clinic. When you buy parts from Repair Clinic, you have 365 days from the day of purchase to return the part for a refund or for a replacement. You can find links to Repair Clinic in my website.